I'm going to say, don't you? A redevelopment of Ramsgate Port, and most importantly the reopening of Manston Airport could provide so many jobs of all different levels, you know, from the basic, you know, forklift driver right up to really high-end skilled jobs like aeronautical engineering, things like that. I mean, the company that wants to buy Manston have got really good business plans. They reckon they can employ upwards of 1,000 people within, you know, 10 years, and that's directly, and another maybe 1,500 as ancillary. Because don't forget, it's not just the airport. The airport brings businesses in. You know, people that want to export or import will move. You know, it will encourage businesses to come to locate in Thanet. Same maybe with the port. It's a bit different actually. It's more like tourism. That will attract tourism and will encourage, you know, tourism jobs.
Well, first thing you do is you don't shut the airport. We get the airport reopened, we get the port reopened. All of these issues locally, like Pleasure Island Beach, and fortunately now I think we're about to see the theme park in Margate reopened. And so all those kind of things that have seem to have taken ages to resolve, get them sorted out, which has largely gone into sort of the long grass with Thanet District Council, and they've sort of bickering over about how they're going to do things and not getting on with it. We need to sort that out. So your local MP, hopefully me, working with Thanet District Council and advocating a Team Thanet approach to things. So, you know, once we get over the election, trying to bring all the stakeholders together to say, well, actually, what is the local plan, but complementing the local plan with the business plan. How many jobs do we want to create? What kind of jobs do we want to create? How are we going to do that in a sustainable way? So I think there has to be some work done, as I say, on the airport, some work done at the other amenities in the area that will generate some of those jobs, and not low-skilled jobs. I want to bring into the marketplace around here some high-skilled, high-paid jobs. You know, avionics engineers and those kind of things are not going to be on minimum wage. And we need to reward employers locally that are paying the living wage. I'm a fan of the living wage. As somebody who runs a business, I would only pay the living wage. People have got money in their pockets. If they've got jobs, they work, they spend money, it creates taxes. We need a starting point for momentum here, and it will come, and then we can attract the place. Because I see, as London begins to emerge, and we hear Boris Johnson this week looking around for land, etc., that I think that there is going to be money coming into the area, and I think it's how we manage that. I'm an optimist. I honestly think we're at the bottom of the curve. We're going to come up the other side. So those jobs will come. But the key point is for the people that we're going to be tasking with the administration is how that's going to happen and how that's going to be done. It's not going to be happened by creating more and more low-skilled, low-paid jobs. That's not what Thanet needs. I think we need more high-tech, high-paid jobs. What I've hopefully been trying to get out into the public domain, but it's not easy because the media, this is a sweeping generalisation, seems to be fixated with a certain party and a certain gentleman. You know, I've been saying right from day one I've got a 10-point plan. If I can just run through those very quickly. So, number one, launch a Thanet business plan to unite all the stakeholders in Thanet's future. 2, reopen Manston Airport. 3, within Manston Airport, open an aviation apprentice college. 4, encourage aircraft recycling at Manston. 5, attract a new commercial operator into Ramsgate Harbour. 6, ensure that the Pleasure Armour and the Ramsgate Pavilion developments go ahead and that there are no more sort of delays or, you know, constant rounds of discussions and bickering between people. Get on with it and get it done and get it delivered. Boost tourism with a Thanet Trail marketing plan. So all of those things I've mentioned before in terms of our local history. I see that Kent came second after London as one of the most visited places in the country. We want to make sure that we're getting our fair share of that people coming down here. You know, great hotels, great restaurants, great locations to go to, great visitor attractions. I'm not in favour of fracking locally. Fracking will be an issue. The Liberal Democrat position is that we're not against fracking per se, but that it should be done on a risk assessment basis, so you should look at the local conditions. Now, having studied the local geology and listened to lots of eminent people on the subject, I think the threat to the local aquifers and water aquifers locally are the risks outweigh the benefits. And certainly with the slump in the oil price now, I think it's probably not commercially viable. So my position is clear on this. I will be contesting fracking locally. Not because I'm against fracking per se, but I think the risk to the water courses outweigh the benefits. A very important part is that of my approach is sustainability. So what we're hearing about from Kent County Council, the Tory-led administration, is that they are desperate to build houses. They're being put under immense pressure to build houses. I think they're looking around the county. They can't go to Medway because it's a unitary authority. They're not going to go to Maidstone or concerned of Tunbridge Wells. They're looking at the east of this county as an easy door to push against, to build massive houses. And Boris Johnson wants to turn Thanet into a sinker state for London, as far as I can see. Now, there's no point building houses unless those people have got jobs. There are roads, hospitals, schools, GP surgeries, and so on and so forth. So I think it's wrong, it's absolutely wrong to go with headlong development without a sustainability consideration. And I think it's fair to say that it's only us and the Green Party that are saying sustainability. The other parties are just falling into line with the mantra that we build houses at all costs anywhere. And I think that has to be challenged. And lastly, looking beyond Europe, where the pro-Europe country, where the pro-Europe party sets us apart from, say, you know, at the other end of the scale is UKIP. We believe that there's massive benefits from being in Europe, but I want to look beyond that. So I was working in Shanghai in China last week, and I think we should be looking to the BRIC countries, the emerging economies, and I'd like to start a scheme of twinning towns and villages with BRIC countries, so Brazil, Russia, India, China. Get our young people to go out there, you know, reach out to them and see what those markets are about. They are massive markets, absolutely. I was in Shanghai last week, and to stand in a town or city with 27 million people in it, which makes London look a bit like a village, is quite extraordinary, and that's where we should be going. And lastly, my sort of big idea, if you want a big idea, which hopefully will fire some imagination, Arlington House on Margate Seafront. When I was a firefighter, I went there several times because of fires. It's in a poor state of repair. My business at the moment is with super tall buildings. I would seek to demolish Arlington House and rebuild it with a new building which would become an icon for Thanet, and it would be called the Turner Tower, to capitalise on our connections with the painter Turner, with fantastic facilities. It would be a vertical village, multiple use, so it would have not only office accommodation, but it would also have residential, leisure facilities, etc., etc. And a real statement of intent that Thanet's actually going to get off the bottom of the pile now and compete not only with the rest of Kent, but the rest of the country as a place to be.
Well, at first, this is the number one reason that one of the main reasons we're standing. Jobs are number one. This is the most challenging thing of it all because it's been neglected for a long time. But obviously, it's, you know, persuade businesses to relocate here. Put the colleges in a skill set, you know, start teaching the children, the students now to learn the skill sets that these businesses need. So in 4 years' time, they're coming out of college, they've got the skills, so the businesses that have been, you know, given incentives to relocate here. That's one thing, and really boost the tourist industry. That is something we have got, and you know, the entertainment industry. That is something we could do relatively easily by attracting people down to this area, by you know, looking after your seafronts, putting on entertainment for them, seeing it as, and it is very attractive. You know, and it's very close to London, and I can't understand why it hasn't been done already. I mean, there has been waves into it now with Dreamland, and we've got the Turner Centre, but I see a nice scenic railway going along Ramsgate. You know, start building that seafront up. And what are they going to do? Build houses in Pleasure Harbour and completely ruin our seafront. And I don't know if there's time to stop it. They're still having secret meetings about it. I believe they're going to try and sell the freehold. It's just an outrage what goes on around here. Someone's got to stop it.
Well, I'm very pleased to see that unemployment's actually come down by 40% over the last 5 years. We've created over 1,000 new jobs, and the rate of unemployment in South Thanet is actually not much above the southeast norm. Now, we've created a very, very powerful economy, one of the envies of the world. We need to carry on with that plan to make our economy even stronger, and we'll all rise with the benefits in higher wages and lower unemployment here in South Thanet. Now, I've got business experience. I feel this place has had some tough times, but I can see that it's coming off from the bottom, and it has a really good future. You only have to look around the towns to see the amount of scaffolding, new enterprise going on. I'm really hopeful for the future, and I can see it happening right now.
Thanet's got the highest unemployment rate in southeast England. It's a massive, probably about twice, 3 times the national average, which is a tragedy, because if you just look where we are now, by the harbour. I mean, the potential for developing Ramsgate and Thanet as a new modern tourist destination is massive. There's just so much potential here for investment, creating jobs, offering business opportunities and training opportunities. It really should be an economically successful place in Ramsgate, but it's not. And certainly that's why, I mean, really one of the main reasons why I'm involved in politics is to try to kickstart the economy and work with local people to develop ideas to create jobs. And you know, it's appalling. A lot of the problems relating to the economy and joblessness in Thanet are the direct result of the activities of the council. It's mismanaged a lot of our assets over the years, and it's failed to maximise potential. I mean, the port, as beautiful as it is massively underinvested in. You've got the mess up with the pleasure armour development, the seafront blighted for more than a decade. You've had the Royal Pavilion here in Ramsgate empty for about 6 or 7 years. It's beginning to change, yes, but there's a lot more that needs to be done. And then you've got the port of Ramsgate, which is really declining massively now. That has proved that there is no future for a port. We need to be looking at a proper strategy in Ramsgate for the seafront in order to bring more tourists in and more leisure-focused activities. So I'm passionate about looking at the wonderful assets that we've got and trying to work ideas through to use those assets to their maximum advantage. And the big point here is that in the past the council has always had a top-down approach to regeneration and creating jobs. It's always been the council knows best and the councillors know best. Well, we've had 10, 15 years that have proved that they don't know best and that they're messing up. The way I look at regeneration, the council should actually be working with the local community and empowering the local community to develop ideas and plans, and we should be working from the bottom upwards to develop economic regeneration plans, because I think that the local people in Thanet have got the ideas, the knowledge, the skills, the entrepreneurship to actually turn this area into an enormously successful place, and the council should trust the people to develop those ideas. So I'm really confident if it's approached in the right way, Thanet could become an incredibly successful place with full employment, decent jobs, decent paid jobs, no 0 hours contracts, lots of opportunities for young people to develop their skills and stay. It's a very positive thing.
The biggest change we've seen locally, why we've got businesses opening again for the first time in 20 odd years, is our better connectivity to London. We've got faster rail times, which means that people are willing to move down here, commute and move their businesses down here because they know they can get to London in an hour and 20 minutes. Now, one of my big proposals, and something that I'm pushing as hard as possible, is to get the new Parkway station at Thanet and to get the railway improvements between Ramsgate and Ashford. If that happens, it would reduce journey times to London to 56 minutes and would allow us to market Thanet, and in particular Ramsgate and Broadstead, as a place for people to come and live and work. And that is exactly what we need. If we can say 56 minutes from the central London to here, why not come and move your business down here? Why not come and move and commute? Why not come for a day trip down here, you know, and rebuild some of the tourism services that we've had in the past? I think it would be a game changer, and it's exactly what we need. And just as an aside to that, I think we also need an MP who's going to be positive and defend the area. To be honest, if Nigel Farage was elected as the MP, the only thing that people would know about Thanet is the fact that that's where he's the MP, and it associates with the most recent racist comment by a UKIP councillor or his most recent gaffe. I want people to know about Thanet, the beautiful Broadstairs, the medieval history of Sandwich, Ramsgate's Royal Port. I don't want them talking about, oh, isn't that where Farage called that person something? Isn't that when a UKIP MEP called that woman a ting-tong from somewhere? We don't want that association for our area. We need to be positive, and that's something that I would be as a passionate local person who knows the issues.